Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is April 14, 2020 at 12:20 a.m. Birmingham. And topic, what would it take to move you? What would it take to get you up out of your seat and feel strongly that, you know what, we're in some days that really suck. You know, how long are we going to be here? But the bigger question is, where are you going to go when these days end? And I've been trying to title this thing, maybe Good Ship Lollipop. More people will look at it. We'll try that. Good Ship Lollipop. Point that I'm trying to make is we do know of only one. I don't know of another, I've never read of another, never heard of another. One person who is able to speak to another from the other side of that great chasm or that gulf that's inside of a part of the earth. But keep in mind, this is before Jesus died on the cross. There was, you may call it purgatory, if you will. There was one side in Hades that was a side of comfort, and there is one side of Hades that was a side of misery. And one time, the rich man called out across this gulf to Lazarus, to Daniel, he said, or Abraham. He said, Abraham, can you send Lazarus that he may bring a drop of water on his finger and cool my tongue because it's burning? And Abraham said, this gulf is too great. We can't cross it. I can't get there, and you can't come here. And that was the only mention that I've ever known or heard of that a man in Hades, in the hell part of it, ever talked to a man that was in the good side of Hades before Jesus came down and emptied out the good side and left those in the side that were going to be judged. And this leads me to one thing. Have you ever been to a church where they had a pretty good message and you liked it, you know, and it kind of moved you, and then they started singing the song, and you know, the altar call is what it is. You know, you got the mercy seat right there in front of you, and they sing one chorus, and they stopped. Well, you were just like trying to get out of your seat, but you hadn't quite gotten out, but they stopped singing, so you settled back down, and you didn't make it. And if they had sang one more, then you would have gotten up and gone to the front. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about why churches need to add an automatic 2 minutes to their altar calls. 2 minutes. So many people would be more inclined and moved and, you know, called to get up, to go down and make a decision and, you know, accept Christ. But they needed that next moment that didn't come. And you got a couple of guys playing guitars, one playing drums, maybe one's playing a trumpet, and you know, there's music there is not beckoning at you to come down. It's just music. 3 or 4 guys, just music. And that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear something that will add to a good sermon that will move me to make me go down to that altar. And that's my point. If today you could ask anyone who is in the judgment part of Hades, awaiting judgment, and they'll go to a different place later. If you could talk to them, what would they tell you? Well, like the rich man told Lazarus, he said, at least go and tell my brothers. And he said, well, you have Daniel and the prophets teaching. If they won't hear Daniel and the prophets, then they won't hear me. You know, you got the best of the best up there preaching the word of God. And if they don't listen to them, then they're not going to listen to anyone. And so the point is, if you're able to talk to someone in hellfire, I don't believe that person would be able to talk back. I'm pretty certain that you can't hear what people say when they're screaming from fire. And that's the kind of the point I want to make. Perhaps a 2 more minute, three chorus, not one, just 2 more minutes. So many people would probably get up and go to that altar and be saved. Guys, our time is so short here. We don't know how close we are to the end of the end. I heard something again very disturbing just 20 minutes ago. Stephen Ben-Nun again, Israeli News Live. This time he's outside. He's in a field by a tree, and he's recording himself. He's alarmed and he's afraid. He says, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just have to protect my family. Here's what he said. He said, have you watched the president lately? He said, there's no presidential seal on that screen. It's not there. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm going to certainly go look and find out and see where he's coming from. But please just take this message and just know that there is an end coming. There is a grace period continuing, but it can close rather quickly. And I wouldn't wait for that. And look, too much is going on, too much bad around this world, horrible things, and just don't be left here. I believe our time is just about out. Jody Wolf Expoz.